In this video, we're going to write a Hello World program in C++, and afterwards I'll explain a little bit about what the different parts of the program are doing. So when learning new languages, it's a bit of a tradition to start off with what's called a Hello World program that just outputs the text Hello World. So in C++, we can write a Hello World program like this. We'll say #include iostream using namespace std semicolon, then int main open bracket close bracket semicolon, cout less than, and then in quotes hello world, and this /n followed by a semicolon, and then return 0. And this is it. This is a Hello World program in C++. Now we would call what we've just written our program source code. This is the actual C++ code that's intended to be read and understood by human programmers. And it all conforms to the rules of the C++ language. Now C++ is what's called a compiled language, which means something called a compiler is going to take this source code and turn it into an executable program that our computer can actually run. An executable program is made up of very, very low-level machine instructions. That's in contrast to source code, which is a higher level language, in this case, C++. So in order to actually execute our program, we're going to want to compile it into an executable file and then run that executable file using our operating system. I'm developing this program using Xcode on a Mac. And Xcode is an environment that takes care of the compilation and execution of our program automatically for us. I'll make some other videos on setting up C++ environments if you're interested in the different ways we can write and run C++ programs. But I'll save this now and I'll run it using Xcode. And when I run the program, we'll get the text here, hello world. We also get this program ended with exit code 0. That's actually coming from the Xcode environment itself. So what's going on in this program one line at a time? So first off, this #include iostream. So #include is what's called a preprocessor directive, which means it's something that runs when our C++ program source code is compiled and turned into an executable program that our computer can run. Compiling a program is actually a process that involves multiple stages, and one of those first stages is executing these preprocessor directives. Now, programs written in C++ will use libraries that have predefined functionalities inside of them, so that when we write our programs, we don't need to reinvent the wheel and define everything from scratch. So for example, most programs will need to print text to the screen. So that functionality is provided for us in a library so that we can just use this predefined functionality. This include directive is including the iostream library, what's called the standard input-output streams library. And this library allows us to use this cout object below, which is helping us to output the text hello world. When we write computer programs, we need to give names to a lot of different things. We end up having to give names to so many different things that we need ways to organize names. C++ uses something called namespaces to help us organize names. And this line is saying that we want to use the namespace std. The std namespace is used by the iostream library. So when we are saying use the namespace std, it's allowing us to use cout in this way that we are below. One way that C++ programs are broken up into different pieces are with what are called functions. And this main function is where the execution of our program will actually start, one statement at a time. Each of these lines here with the cout and the return, we call a statement. In a similar way to how functions in mathematics can produce a value, our main function can return a value. And the value it's going to return is going to be an integer. That's what this int means here. Now this cout is part of our first statement. And a statement is a little bit like a sentence in the sense that it's this complete unit of work that's going to happen. And our statements are going to execute one after the other. And this cout here is a globally accessible object and what's called the standard output stream. And though it's something that could be configured, by default, the standard output stream will output characters to the terminal. Now the cout is provided to us by this iostream library. If we didn't include this library, we wouldn't have access to the cout functionality. Now exactly what an object is something that's actually very important to C++. And we'll talk more about that in future videos. This here, the less than, that's actually called the insertion operator. And the insertion operator is going to insert this string here, this sequence of characters, into this standard output stream. This sequence of characters, we call this a string literal or a string constant. And it's a sequence of characters that we're going to output by using this insertion operator. This /n here is a special character, and that character represents a new line, like after we hit enter in a text editor. And finally, this return 0 here, it's returning a value 0 from our function. Now, when this main function returns a value, it's actually returning the value to the operating system. And returning 0 is a signal to the operating system that our program exited successfully. So that's why when we save and run our program, we end up with program ended with exit code 0 here. Had we changed this value to 1 and saved and ran our program, we would end up with program ended with exit code 1. So that's where that number is coming from. So a couple other things. These semicolons here, they're actually pretty important. If we don't have them there and we try to run our program, we're going to get an error. The actual IDE Xcode in this case is telling me that, hey, you're missing something here. And we have to put a semicolon there. The semicolons are kind of like the period at the end of a sentence. They basically signify that this is the end of the statement. Now that I've actually fixed that syntax error, if I try to run my program now, it'll work again. That error goes away, we get build succeeded, and I see hello world here. So when we're writing our programs, that will happen. If our compiler can't understand our program because we haven't followed the rules of the language, in this case C++, we're going to get errors like that popping up. One other thing is these squiggly brackets here, the open squiggly bracket and close squiggly bracket. These are defining a block of code. And this is the block of code for the main function. It's defining what the main function will do. And our program will run through the statements in a function one at a time, from the top to the bottom, unless we use what are called control structures, which modify the flow of execution of our program and may actually have us execute one sequence of instructions instead of another, or repeatedly execute a sequence of instructions. So as you can tell, even this simple program has quite a bit going on. As we write programs that are larger and more complex, it's going to become very important that other programmers can read our code and understand what's going on. One of the ways we can help them do that is by annotating our code with what are called comments. And a comment in C++ can be written like this. We could say / print hello world. And this here is a comment. It's not something that's actually going to run as part of our program. When we compile our program, this doesn't actually appear anywhere in the final executable version of our program. It's actually stripped out during compilation. But this comment is a human-readable annotation to our program that's intended for another programmer to read to help understand what's going on in our program. And that's what this text up here is as well. That's also a comment. Now, if we want to write what's called a multi-line comment, we can do that with /*. So I can say here /*, and then I would say use the namespace std, but we can have more than one line. And that's an example of a multi-line comment. So I could just keep going and going describing C++, but as you can tell, there's quite a bit. And everything that I talked about in this video can actually be blown up into its own separate tutorial to really explain what's going on. Like, for example, what's a function? What's an object? What's a namespace? All of these topics really need their own separate tutorial video. And over time, this channel will be producing tutorial videos on all these topics and more in C++. So if you like this video, please subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for many more C++ tutorials to come. Check out portfoliocourses.com, where we'll help you build a portfolio that will impress employers.